Good morning, I'm Gail Solomon. I'm the CEO of Bidvest Branded Products. And I've been with the company for just over 2 years. So Bidvest Branded Products consists of a diverse business. It offers a portfolio of well-known, recognized brands. Our brands are really iconic and recognized by most people in South Africa. And we have brands such as Lini, luggage, Polo handbags, Russell Hobbs appliances. For everyone that did maths at school, Croxley. I think everyone will remember the Croxley math sets. It's one of our big brands within the stable. Konica Minolta. If you're in the business world, most or a large amount of companies actually use Konica Minolta for the automation. And then we have companies as well that are brands. We have Waltons. If you've got kids at school or if you've been at school, you'll understand that Waltons is one of the leaders in back to school. Sissel Nurse offers furniture. And these are well-known, iconic companies that was established in 1946 and 1949 respectively. So been around for a very, very long time. We have 18 companies within the division, so it's a huge amount of companies, and obviously it'll be quite difficult to manage. So what we've done is we've actually segmented them into 3 clusters, and now I'll speak through each cluster and tell you what each cluster does. So we've got a data print and packaging cluster. Within the data print and packaging cluster, we've got 10 companies. It's our biggest cluster with regards to number of companies. And within that cluster, we primarily do printing. So printing on labels, printing on packaging, printing on serviettes, all sorts of printing. We do printing of labels for the wine industry, food industry. We print unit cartons for the pharmaceutical industry, personal care industry. So very wide and broad across all industries. We also supply packaging, which is in the cluster, for your delis, your fast food industry. So you can see within that data print and packaging cluster quite a broad offering. What we do have as well within data print and packaging, we have a mobility and a data business, and the data business focuses on omnichannel. Mobility specializes in scanning for warehousing. Very diverse business. Then we have an office cluster, and in the office cluster we have 3 businesses. We have Sissel Nurse, specializing in creating modern, functional workspaces. Konica Minolta offers automation, and we've spoken a bit about that earlier. And then Waltons office supplies. At Waltons, their whole philosophy is if you walk into an office or if you cut the roof of any office, if you just take the roof off, you shake it out, everything that falls out besides the people is what they supply. So from laptops to paper to stationery, that's Waltons. They also have a very big retail arm. So, any customer, you order stationery B2B, then that same customer obviously needs stationery and can walk into any retail store. So that's the office products. On the consumer business, we have 5 companies, and this is where all the sexy brands are within the business. We have Home of Living brands. That is where our appliances are. And so if you've got a home, it's quite well-known appliances. We have Russell Hobbs, Salt and Pineware, Hoover, vacuum cleaners, Coloc is consumables, and these consumables are inkjet, printers, consumables within that business. And they supply to retail. They don't supply directly to customer. We have Silveray Stationery. That's where Croxley resides within the Silveray business. We have MIC, which is Maxwell Williams, and that's crockery. And then Interbrand, and that's where all the lovely handbags are, suitcases, etc. And that's our consumer business. We have 13 factories, and that's spread across the country in this business. We also do our own warehousing and distribution. So we contribute to the success by really delivering on growth. We've been very successful delivering growth for the group, leveraging synergies across the businesses, and really maintaining a really strong footprint in the B2B and B2C. arena. I think what's great about this business is, it's so diverse that if we have an issue in one business and the market's not performing, we can really leverage other businesses within branded products, and it's very different to the other businesses within Bidvest. Company really operates with a degree of independence or autonomy, and this is really to preserve entrepreneurial agility within this business. However, we believe that we are united under a shared vision within this business and framework. Our model encourages collaboration without compromising on the unique strengths of each business. Now, that's very important to the teams that manage these businesses as well as Bidvest. That's the model. It's worked for many years. However, there's still the little shared framework that we work towards. Now, our competitors are vast. There's so many different sectors when it comes to competition. So it's very difficult for us as Bidvest Branded Products, overarching business, to differentiate itself, as each business really does it on its own. But I do want to say that as Bidvest Branded Products, our competitive edge really lies in our ability to combine scale with specialization. There are very few companies that have this tailored solutions, category expertise, and commitment to service excellence as we do. Obviously, we don't have one particular competitor. It's just so broad. And if you were to ask me today, who's our main competitor, it would be very difficult for me to tell you from a Bidvest Branded Products perspective, due to its diversity. So it's quite difficult in a business that are like printing, packaging. So there's not a lot of technology within this business, but how we react to that technology is really through automation, a lot of it, and really automation in our warehousing, logistics, really looking and spending on capital expenditure, to drive better delivery on our machinery, automation, looking at digital transformation. Within this business, we've actually, online stores has become really big in some of the businesses, and whereby we measure the online stores and compare them to our retail stores, and some of them are actually our top retail stores. So we react to that. People buy online now, or many people. So that's how we react to it. We've looked at printing and offering digital on-demand type of printing. Everyone wants it in the next 60 minutes, and we've tried to react to that. And really e-commerce and integration of our B2B platforms. So we've really looked at digitalization, automation, better machinery to respond to. This is a business that has really performed. Their focus has been financial, focusing on the bottom line, focusing on expenses, and I've just taken a different view. I've always believed that leadership, culture is very important when driving a business, and I've started implementing culture as a strategy, because actually someone said to me a while ago, and I've always thought about this, that any strategy can be replicated, but a culture cannot. So it's stuck with me, and I believe every single business where we've transformed the culture within the business to include growth, transformation, inclusivity, innovation, we've seen the growth in these businesses. So that's really what I've driven. I've driven forums, like commercial forum that we've executed within this business, whereby the commercial teams across the different businesses actually get together, share, collaborate, share opportunities within the market. So really more on the, people would say it's the softer focus, but I believe it's one of the most important focus areas for any business. I think in the last 2 years as well, what the team has done really well is they focused on acquisitions. We've had 4 acquisitions. just in the last 3 years. That's more acquisitions that they've done, looking at the past 8 years. So that's been quite a big focus for them. And then to just try the ESG and the transformation agenda, also establish an ESG and transformation forum. That's where we drive the agenda within Bidvest, as well as in Bidvest Branded Products, because it's not just executing, it's really how do we drive the agenda from a Bidvest perspective. One last thing is, and it's really been very important to me, and it's been a real focus that in the last few years, 2 years that I've been here, it's really succession and talent. We've got a lot of people that's been in this business for many years, and we need to start focusing on what do we do when these people leave the business. So succession and talent, core focus, and something I'll be driving going forward. So I believe in trust, authenticity and integrity, and I employ people aligned to this. It's important to me. I would say that my leadership is more transformative, and I believe in looking at, and we've spoken a bit about this, and how you transform the organization, but looking at innovation, change, culture. So that's really my philosophy, my leadership philosophy. And really it's about balancing performance and people. And for me, that's what transformative leadership really means, and creating a culture where innovation thrives in the organizations and individuals feel empowered. The days of telling someone what to do is long gone. You should empower people so that they think about what it is we can do next to grow the organization. At the end of the day, obviously there's always a financial objective within any business, but people drive the business, and they should be treated as your most important asset in the business. That's the only way you're going to achieve results, right, is through people. I would say that we have a 3 to 5 year plan within Branded Products, and that's really about growth. Growth in every area, whether it's growth in revenue, growth in profit, growth in new channels, new pillars that we want to enter, it's everything to do with growth. It's about taking our succession plans and actually living it, promoting internally, developing people, transforming our business. I think what people need to understand is Bidvest 10 years ago is very different to Bidvest today. And if you don't transform and move with those changes, you're going to be left behind. So I think my job in the next few years is just for people to understand that we need to move and transform the business to what the business world and the consumer needs for today, not for 10 years ago. Sure, so we prioritize our commitments across the division, and it really taps into the larger Bidvest commitments. But I think what's great to see is, you have, and I've really left, each business to drive their own ESG and transformation agendas. However, we have tried to influence some of it. A lot of what our businesses are doing now, they're looking at implementing like solar projects, alternative power across the business, boreholes. We've had projects where someone like Konica Minolta collecting cartridges and using it as a raw material for furniture. Actually, it's been fantastic. Konica Minolta as well, and I'm just going to mention them because I just think it was a fantastic initiative. In 2008, they partnered with Trees for Africa, and they planted 66,000 trees throughout South Africa, and this has really resulted in them having a carbon neutral emission rating. So I think, we continuously strive to do better and find ways to reach our ESG goals within each business. Once again, each business has their own CSR objectives, but I think I think what we've really done well this year is we've, as part of our ESG and Transformation Forum, we got everyone, each business, to contribute a portion of the CSI budget to a pool. And we did this because we want to make a difference, a real difference, by pooling our money to an organization and make a difference to how we impact their lives. And this year what we did is we pooled our money and we partnered with an organization called Boikania Foundation, and they support children with cerebral palsy. But these kids, previously their parents were not mobile because they had no wheelchairs for these children to move around in, etc. And by us contributing, we've just changed the lives of hundreds of kids or their parents, where they can really make a difference in these kids' lives by just being mobile. All the untapped potential. There's a lot of untapped potential within Bidvest Branded Product. If you look at most of the businesses, it's our market share is low in many of these businesses, and so I think there's still so much opportunity to do more and gain more market share, and by doing so, growing this business. It's also about the transformation, of the businesses and people, and we spoke a bit about that earlier. And it's just to shape how we want to see the businesses so that they are future fit. And I believe there's a lot that can be done, so much. If everyone just buys into it, that we really have a future fit business for the next 3 to 5 years. It's about embracing continuous learning, cultivate strong relationships, and always have a mentor, someone to pull you through the organization. I've had that all my life, and it's just been fantastic. You have someone that believes in you and pulls you through the organization. It's just to also think beyond the job and your responsibility. Always put your hand up and say, I want to be on this project. Don't only look at your job and what you can do in your job. I think empower others, be courageous, and really set high standards for yourself. My parting words is really, leadership is defined by inspiring your team to achieve their goals, and it's not defined by you and your title. And that's what I just want to leave everyone with in my business.